Hey there, welcome to LC Yoga. My name is Laura, and today's practice is for deep relaxation and stress relief. So if you're ready, get on your mat and I'll meet you there. We'll begin today in child's pose. So go ahead and find a spot, maybe close to the back of the mat. Let your knees go wide, and then just start to fold over your legs. Walking the arms forward, maybe the forehead comes to the floor. If that feels like too much, you might want to stack your fists and rest the forehead there. And if it feels like too much on your knees, you might want to come up higher, maybe placing something between your hips and your heels. Find your child's pose. We're going to be here for just a minute as we ground into practice and let the day just fade away. And start to deepen the breath. And let it fill your back. And then as you exhale, hear it echo back from the mat. Maybe exhaling through an open mouth. Starts to sound like the ocean. With each breath, the back gets broader, and the hips sink down a little more. With each exhale, the muscles in your face relax, especially your jaw. On your next inhale, start to lift your forehead slowly, slowly. And then start to come forward onto hands and knees. Maybe bring the knees a little closer together. Curl the toes under and then step your right foot forward into a lunge, stepping the foot to the outside of your right hand. And then just drop the hips. Your palms can be on the ground, or you may want to place them on a block coming up a little higher. I'm just looking to open the hips. So back toes can be curled under or the top of the foot on the floor. Just let the hips sink down. You can even flex your right foot and come onto the edge, the outer edge of the foot as you wing your knee out to the side. Whatever feels better on the hips. You can remain still like that, or you may find that motion feels good, maybe rocking back and forth. Just finding what needs stretching and breathe into that. Maybe finding Ujjayi breath, your yogic breath, where you have slight constriction in the back of the throat. If you were to do it with your mouth open, it would be like fogging a mirror. It's that same constriction. Do that on your inhales and your exhales with your mouth closed. And it sounds like ocean waves. And when you're ready, curl your back toes under if they're not already. Shift the hips back and bring both knees back together and come back into a child's pose, just for a breath or two. And then we'll take that same thing to the other side. So stepping the left foot forward into a lunge, the outside of the left foot, and let the hips get heavy. Find a lizard pose that works for you. Maybe winging that knee out to the side with a flexed foot. Maybe adding a little motion back and forth. Just to find those tight places, and just stretch into those. Come back to that deep, slow Ujjayi breath. Oceanic breath. Back knee gets uncomfortable, you may want to curl your toes under so that you can adjust that. Couple more breaths here. And then we'll shift the hips back and go back into a child's pose. We'll take a rabbit pose next. And if you're having any neck issues, you may not want to come onto the top of your head. We're not going to put a lot of pressure there, but if you're having neck issues, you may want to skip this. If you place the forehead on the ground, start to lift the hips up so that you start to rock forward onto the top of the head, the very crown of the head. Curl the back toes under, and you can place the hands next to the head and just kind of keep them there, and that helps alleviate any extra pressure in the neck. Rocking onto the crown of your head, and just hang out there. If you want to add a shoulder stretch, you might want to scoot the knees in a little bit more, and then interlace the fingers behind your back. And start to pull the arms up and overhead. And we're right on the crown of the head so that the neck is long. There's no crunching in the neck. Breathe deep. And then bring the hips back down, come up to sit. And wherever you are, interlace the fingers behind your back, and we'll continue to stretch into the shoulders if you were doing that before, or begin to do that now. Just letting the chest go up toward the sky. And then release, grab a hold of the knees and round the spine. We'll do that a couple more times. Interlace the fingers behind your back. Arch it up. Deep breath in. And then exhale, release, grab the knees around the spine. One more time like that. Inhaling. And exhaling. Now coming forward, walk the knees forward so that you can roll over the knees. And we'll stretch into the legs a little bit. Janu. So let your left leg go long, right leg is bent, and the right foot is on the inside of your left thigh. Bend into that knee, and then as you start to tilt the pelvis forward, scoot that hip back and away from your front heel. I'm going to keep the torso nice and long, so nice flat back. Start to press the chest forward. Breathe into the back of the leg. And we're not warmed up here, so we're just going to lean and let it stretch with the breath. And we're not trying to get our nose on our knees. Chest and or the top of the head is going toward the front of the mat. I'll let gravity do its thing. You'll find with each breath, maybe you're folding a little deeper into the pose. The knee can be as bent as it needs to be. And then walk the hands up and we'll add a side bend. So open the legs a little bit, keeping the right one bent. Bend into that left knee again, and then bring your elbow to the inside of that knee or the floor. And then reach your right arm up toward the sky, opening it up like a wing so you're turning your heart up toward the sky. Hang out right there if you've got a nice side stretch going. Maybe you start to reach toward your left toes. Dropping the right hip down, open the side waist. Continuously turning that heart up toward the sky. And then come on up to sit, and we'll take the other side. So your right foot goes out, left foot in. Bend into that knee, and then tilt the pelvis by scooting the hip back. Chest goes forward, back is long. Maybe close the eyes. And just breathe as the fibers in the underside of your right leg start to lengthen. Come back to that oceanic breath. And let that be what opens the muscles and the joints. Now walking the hands back up, open up the hips. And we'll add that side bend, bending into the knee, elbow to the inside of the knee or the floor. Left arm opens up to the sky like a wing, turning the heart up. Drop the left hip down as you stay there, or let the arm go overhead. Turning up continuously protects the lower back. Dropping the left hip down, breathe into that side waist, using your oceanic breath. And when you're ready, come on up. Scoot the hips forward, and we're going to roll down onto our backs. And we're going to do something that my teacher Ian Finn, Blissology Yoga, calls Manipura loop. Manipura being the ego center, right here, sort of top of the belly. And the loop goes around the back and it includes your adrenal glands. All right, so this is where you hold an awful lot of tension. I don't know about you, but I certainly do. And so that area, we're going to breathe into those adrenal glands and just sort of let all the stress drain out. So draw the knees in toward the chest. Maybe wrapping the arms around your knees if your anatomy allows it. If not, you might want to let the knees go wide and maybe hold on to the knees like that. Works just as well. And close the eyes. As you draw the knees in toward the chest, what we're trying to do is flatten the back along the ground. So move around till you find a comfy position that allows that to happen. And with each breath, we're going to focus in on that area, the adrenal glands, which are around the bottom of your rib cage. Start to breathe deep. Breathing into that area. Letting the back get flatter with every breath. Filling the lungs. Maybe exhaling through an open mouth. With each breath, breathe into those glands. And exhale, release to the ground. Let your shoulders relax. Let your hips relax. Adrenal glands are little eraser-sized glands at the top of your kidneys. They're pumping out adrenaline to keep you going throughout the day. Sometimes they get a little overused. This exercise allows them to relax and release. Keep breathing deeply. Relax all the muscles in your neck. Relax your shoulders down, down, down. Melt the muscles in your face, all the little micro muscles, so that your face is expressionless. And even your mouth opens a little because your jaw relaxes. As you inhale deeply, let your exhales be longer than your inhales. So that you empty completely before you take your next breath. few more deep, deep breaths here. All muscles releasing down. And start to release the hands from the legs. Bring the feet to the floor. Knees up toward the sky. Let your legs stretch out long, about the width of the mat for your feet. Feet flop open. Palms flop open to the sky, Shavasana. Now here you can release the breath. Let it do whatever it wants. Continue to let all muscles sink into the earth. There's nowhere to go. Nothing to do. Let your mind let go of anything that it's trying to control. And for this last moment, just be a human being instead of a human doing. Now you can stay here as long as you like. Just absorbing this low energy. And when you're ready, start to bend into the knees and place the bottoms of the feet on the floor. Bring the hands to the tops of the thighs. Maybe interlace the fingers and press the palms away up overhead. A little stretch from hips to fingers. And then release, draw the knees in toward the chest, give them a squeeze. Then make your way up to sit. Find a comfortable seat. Maybe cross-legged, half lotus, backs of the hands to the knees, and let the thumb and forefinger touch. Sit tall, crown of the head reaches away from the sit bones. Breath deepen. When we remove tension, a lot of times we find what's underneath. And that's something that's low energy. Maybe it's fatigue. Maybe we're missing someone. Whatever it is, the tension was covering it up. So now we can place one hand on the belly and one on the heart. So we've tapped into our real selves and what's really going on. And now you know what to do to take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to everyone around. Namaste. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed today's class and you're looking for more, join me over on lcyoga.com. There you're going to find lots of classes and content that doesn't exist here on YouTube. Longer classes, complete beginner series, intermediate flows, lots of content that is commercial free and exclusive to the website. So if you're ready, join me on lcyoga.com and I'll meet you there.